Most experienced analysts have completely ignored this Gachagua, Ndindi Nyoro, thief. And of course there is a very good reason for that. And it is the same reason why they are not taking it seriously. Many believe it is politically irrelevant. And we shall see why very, very shortly. But there are other reasons why anybody analyzing Kenyan politics should at least know the basics surrounding this issue. At least tuijue juju. Okay? There is a very good reason also for that. Actually, a few reasons. And one of the reasons is that it confirms the serious trouble the Kenya Kwanza government is in right now, and especially in the Mount Kenya region. It also exposes and confirms the character of a man called Rigathi Gachagua, especially the goings on behind the scenes that triggered the current tiff. You see, what happened at a meeting somewhere in central Kenya is that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua slapped a politician, a UDA politician. Now, of course, on paper, nobody's above the law. However, in reality, you can imagine turning up at a police station to make a report, a complaint, and then as the cop is writing your statement for you, you reach the part of being slapped by the deputy president. The cop will tell you, ulipigwa kofi na nani? Nilipigwa kofi na deputy president. And then the cop will excuse himself to go and drink water and think. Mimi niko na loan ya police sako, niko na watoto na mke. Hii kazi ni important. Siwezi poteza kazi ovyo ovyo. So he has to think. And the most likely thing that will happen after that is that he'll come back and tell you, we wacha hii statement hapa. We are starting investigations right away. Sasa hivi tunaanza investigation. Wenda unaweza rudi baada ya wiki moja hivi. Okay? Usijali, hii maneno tutashughulikia. End of story. Your complaint will go nowhere. And of course the person unleashing the slap knows these facts of life in Kenya today. Anyway, the colleagues of this politician who was slapped were not happy. And they wanted to show somebody that they are nobody. And that is how the Ndindi Nyoro for Deputy President campaign was launched. And I'm made to believe that right now, we even have campaign posters for 2027. Now already I can hear that question. Chris, you mean this thing was not stage managed? It was actually caused by something, an incident. We have always known it was stage managed. Hold your horses. Actually, this whole saga was both cause and effect manenos. Somebody was slapped and then there were consequences. But it was also stage managed. What do I mean? You know, in case you didn't know, these days, Kenya Kwanza have a headache whenever they want to stage manage something. It is so hard. Because of the political environment. Because of the love or lack of love people have for this political outfit. And so after the slap and the consequences, somebody grabbed it with their two hands and decided to run with it as a stage managed political issue. And the reasons why somebody would do that are pretty obvious. Number one, divert attention, the attention of Kenyans, away from where it should really be, in corruption and mismanagement of the country and the economy on a free fall. Amid false promises, false empty promises that things will get better. There's even a new one that actually the economy is growing. What? I'm telling you, this Kenya Kwanza gang are now starting to compete with Churchill Show in terms of comedy. Only that we cannot laugh. Things are difficult. It's a bit hard to laugh at such a joke. And of course, secondly, and maybe the most important point, is to try and confuse Mount Kenya people, and in the process remove the current fast building anger in the region and completely take them in a different direction. Which direction? The direction of we are in government as Mount Kenya. We need unity to get something from this government. All that empty political narrative, etc., etc. And if truth be told, it is working a little. Yeah, because the whole thing of Ndindi Nyoro having a poster, yeah, advertising him for Rigiji's job really tickles people. It is funny. And one of the reasons why it is funny is that it is very, very far from political reality. Because the truth of the matter is that if there was an election today for chairman of a cattle dip, deep in an obscure village somewhere in the Mount Kenya region, and these two individuals vied for that office, yeah, chairman of a cattle dip, there is a high likelihood that they would lose. That is the political reality on the ground. And so in view of that fact, what are we discussing here? Hey, you see the funny part of it? What are we discussing? Political nobodies in the region. Yeah? What are we discussing? But there are some other very disturbing aspects that emerge from these manenos. And you will kindly allow me to discuss that immediately after this important message from Chris Kumekucha. Now, I need to ask you a question, and please answer me very honestly. Are you one of those people who believe that there's no problem under the sun that does not have a solution? Yeah? Or are you one of those people who believe that there are some problems that cannot be solved? Or are you like most of us who believe problem is equals to headache? You see, the truth is, most of us have been brought up, whenever a problem occurs, we get a headache. We say, "Aye, now where is this problem coming from?" And you start getting very emotionally upset. At least there's somebody in Kenya Kwanza, as much as most Kenyans don't like them, at least there's somebody in Kenya Kwanza who knows that a problem is always an opportunity. Which means that most of us, including myself, get it all wrong when we encounter a problem. We should actually get excited. That's the right emotion. Instead of getting frustrated. And this person in Kenya Kwanza was hit with a problem. Somebody has slapped somebody else. Gosh, if this gets into the press, they'll have a field day. This is not good for Kenya Kwanza. It will show that we are not united. However, it is an opportunity. And the rest, of course, is history. Because we have seen how this problem has been used as a political opportunity. At least somebody tried to turn it into a political opportunity. And that's the right direction, the right spirit. And that is especially relevant to all of us. Because if you go anywhere in the Republic of Kenya and you ask people, what is the problem in Kenya today? They will not hesitate. Pesa! The economy. That's the problem. Now in the year 2019, those of you who are already Kumekuchans can testify, yeah, and tell others whether I'm telling the truth or... In that year, I came up with a very fascinating report titled How to Survive and Prosper in a Dead Economy. Now, looking back, those days, life was good. There was still money circulating, a lot of it. People were able to put food on the table. People still had their jobs. Many Kenyans were okay. But in producing this valuable piece of information, I told Kenyans that was the time in 2019 to prepare for some very, very hard times coming in the near future. And the year 2020 arrived with Homa ya Mchina, and things proved very difficult because people all over the world were told to go home. Many things were shut down, including schools, for a whole year. Things were very difficult. And people heaped praise on Kumekucha Chris. This man saw ahead. Not true. Because the trouble did not come in the year 2020. The trouble came after the August 2022 presidential elections. Because shortly after that, a bill called Finance Bill 2023 was tabled and forced through. Okay? And the rest is history. Here we are, where many, many Kenyans have completely lost hope. And therefore, how to survive and prosper in a dead economy is most relevant for just now. It is very hard to believe, but most great fortunes have been made during great depressions, great economic hardships, like what we are passing through right now. I don't want to make it look so deceptively simple, but the truth is, all one has to do is to change strategy, change the way you do things. It is really very basic. If you're walking along a road and an obstacle drops in front of you, then it is find a way around it. And history tells us those people who find a way around it end up in a much better situation than if there had been no obstacle in front of them in the first place. And indeed, if truth be told, many of you have already benefited greatly from this very valuable information, how to survive and prosper in a dead economy. And not only those of you who took me seriously in the year 2019. And so you have an opportunity once again. The package will definitely bring change in your life, even during these very hard times, because it includes 3 eBooks. Yes, you heard me right. 3 eBooks. One with over 101 ideas of generating income during tough times, such as the ones we're facing right now. The other one is creative ways of finding customers. Avoid hawking and pushing your stuff so hard. It doesn't work anymore. But instead, you can use some brilliant ideas where you'll change the situation so that people are begging you, please, let me have this thing. Instead of you begging them, please, buy. And then the 3rd ebook is how to use your spare time, and indeed how to create even more time, because we waste a lot of time in our lives. Even as we are broke, we waste a lot of time, which is crazy. It even gives you case studies of what people have done in their spare time, idle time, to change completely their financial fortunes. And it is all told in very simple language. Hakuna kizungu mingi. And then of course there are the videos. Well over 1.5 hours. Step by step. Many ideas. Many case studies. You can't go wrong with this. And for only $25, or for Kenya shillings 3,999, you can have it immediately in the next few seconds. You can see details on your screens right now. payment details, and what you need to do to get this valuable information that is able to lift anybody from that situation of hopelessness which many Kenyans are in right now, into a situation where you'll be on the right track to something very different, something much better than where you are right now. And I'd also like to make a special appeal to my big supporters, to consider sponsoring somebody who can't afford this right now to get this valuable information. What I will do, for every one person you sponsor, I will sponsor 2. Okay? So that will be 3 Kenyans right now who are down and out, who will be able to get access to this information. It would be more than very lovely for you to help a fellow Kenyan who is in great need right now. Now, the information in how to survive and prosper in a dead economy is also especially useful even to those who are okay right now. For those who have managed so far to navigate through all the difficulties and obstacles. For those who have a very comfortable job right now and you're not worried, this information is also super important for you. So please consider purchasing my How to Survive and Prosper in a Dead Economy. Right, back to Rigi G and Ndindi Nyoro. You know, the character of a man never changes. In the 90s, so many years ago, you slapped around the wife of legend, gallant, political hero of our second liberation, Kenneth Stanley Jindo Matiba, and you got away with it. And now more recently, you have done the same thing, and you have gotten away with it. Human nature and character, your character, never really changes. You know, there are those within Kenya Kwanza who firmly believe that Ruto is stuck with a deputy president that he would have preferred not to have. Because if you look at things very soberly, you will discover that there's been a problem from day one. Most Kenyans have noticed that when Ruto wants somebody to represent him out of the country, he has never chosen his deputy to do so. Even before Musalia Mudavadi was made Foreign Affairs CS, while keeping his chief cabinet secretary docket, Ruto still used to prefer Mudavadi to represent him rather than Rigi G. And it is not difficult to see why. Musalia Mudavadi is polished. He will say the right thing. He will think through before he speaks. That is the very opposite of Deputy President, Republic of Kenya, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua. And Kenyans will already know that this caused a lot of tension. Serious tension. Yeah. The press even started talking about the war for the and Rigathi Gachagua. And that political fire is still smoldering when another one comes. This time with Ndindi Nyoro, who's also very close to Ruto. Would I be wrong in summarizing this? Yeah. As a person in an elective post, who instead of solving people's problems, always ends up creating new problems, creating new fires within KK, which now somebody has to put out. So instead of being busy solving people's problems, KK is busy putting out its own fires, courtesy of one of the members of the ruling coalition. I think now you can start to believe, or at least understand more deeply, the rumors from insiders deep in State House, that there seems to be a lot of tension these days between Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. Indeed, if you look at some photographs and some appearances, videos, you will read the body language telling you exactly the same. Tension. Things are not okay. It is not business as usual. There is something wrong. From my analysis today, you can be able to fully comprehend why that would be the case, despite the narrative we're being given. The president and the deputy are busy. They're both busy people solving the problems of Kenyans. Those must be other Kenyans. Because in the Kenya we live in, problems are not being solved. They're being created daily, new ones. Anyway, now there should be much more clarity over that issue. And the truth of the matter is that the problem of Rigathi Gachagua is not going to go away tomorrow. No. In fact, when you look at it deeply, you will realize that Azimio's most powerful secret weapon deep inside the Kenya Kwanza government is Rigathi Gachagua. He creates so many problems within the ruling coalition. He's stripping up things so much that Azimio really don't need to do a lot of work. They just need to wait and pounce and take advantage of the next blunder. And in many other instances, they don't even need to move an inch. They just let the man do his thing, and meanwhile, Kenya Kwanza is self-destructing right before our eyes. And now it is even much easier to believe that some of the handlers of Rigathi Gachagua are convinced that Ruto is going out of his way to finish Gachagua. That Gachagua is such a major political force that he would be the main target in a move by Ruto handlers to finish him, which is really laughable. Because why would anybody make the effort to finish Rigathi Gachagua when he has already been finishing himself right from day one? Because even if it is true that the current moves to push Ndindi Nyoro as a candidate to be Ruto's running mate in the next elections, if we ever get there, even if it is true that it is Ruto people pushing that, they partly stage managed, pushed that narrative. Even if that is true, the target is not Rigathi Gachagua. The target is to get Kenyans excited, divert attention from where it should really be. And it is not Rigathi Gachagua in the crosshairs of anybody. With the benefit of hindsight, if UDA and Kenya Kwanza were to be saved, a man like Kithure Kindiki would have been in a much better position to help UDA out of a mess, out of the current mess, than the current deputy president will ever be. And that is just the truth. Now, very quickly before I go, a quick reminder. Remember how to survive and prosper in a dead economy. My offer for that should be very useful. And I'm very sure that can restore a lot of hope. And I'm very sure this information will be very useful, no matter what your situation is today, and also help a lot of Kenyans at the same time who have lost all hope. Also consider to sponsor your brother, your sister, who may not be able to afford it, to get hold of this valuable information. Details on your screens right now. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.